they're plain peanuts.
Do you really want to go out in the fucking hospital? You know, because you fucking didn't want to stop eating In-N-Out burgers? Really?
Right.
That's what you're fucking telling me, that you want to go out in the fucking hospital. Do you really want to have to pull up your shirt once a fucking day and shoot yourself in the fucking stomach with a needle when you're on the road and whatever, you know? I saw Ralphie May come in here and I saw the lump on his neck from where that shit that gets cortisol.
Was he that big from eating?
No, he was that big from fucking from ice skating. You know, he ice skated so much. When did you start doing comedy?
2010.
What made you get up?
What made me do it the first time?
Yeah.
I was in the mortgage business, and in 2009,
College educated?
No, dropped out of community college to do Percocet and sell subprime mortgages in Long Island, which I still believe is what I will return to. I believe stand-up is a sabbatical from my true calling, which is to work in a strip mall and have great lunches, serious lunches, and take Percocet and telemarket mortgages in the tri-state area.
You look good. You look
that's
good.
very sweet. That's also untrue. But I appreciate.
No, you really do. I wouldn't tell you.
That.
What
you're looking from here on,
people's ass. Whatever. I like.
So, but you know what it is? When you're a big guy, it's all about the way the camera hits you. Because when I put myself in my jacket, I look okay.
Listen, I stopped looking at myself in 1990. All right, I stopped looking at myself in 1998.
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
I go in the mirror now at night and I see Grandpa from the Munsters, and I laugh for 5 minutes. I'm like, all the shit they're doing, nobody's redoing Grandpa.
Right.
I would kill his Grandpa.
Yeah, you would be amazing as
Especially
Grandpa.
if he was R-rated, because Grandpa was a nut.
Yeah.
Downstairs mixing chemicals and dosing people. Some months you're going to make $800 and you suck it the fuck up.
And some you make $8,000.
And some months you make $8,000.
Yeah.
And you suck it the fuck up.
Right.
And somewhere, and then you learn how to balance it. You learn how to put away money.
The first month you make $8,000. You're at a steakhouse. You got a porterhouse for $2.
Fuck yeah.
You got a shellfish tower lobster. Put some blue claw crab on that too, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Let's get a couple of gin martinis. Let's do the cheesecake. Bring all the appetizers. Lobster bisque. Pour it in cups. We'll drink it while we eat the steak.
Fuck.
And then it's like then you realize you have to pay taxes because sales is the 1099. They give you $8,000. You didn't make $8,000, by the way. You now owe money. So I would get a check and then I would go out and spend money, and then I'd realize, I owe money. Like I owe $4,000 of that goes to the government, and I didn't pay any of it. So that was something too. But when I got into comedy, the only job I could get was in Staten Island, and it was photocopiers and selling office equipment. Sad, because when you're selling real estate or mortgages, at least somebody around you's got a lot of money, and you could look at them and be like, well, I want to be that. I want to be, my boss, this guy Tim, who had a big house and a pool. But when you telemarketing photocopiers Staten Island, everybody there is desperate, and they all have that job because it's in walking distance of their house, or they could take a bus. Many of them just had DWIs.
What do you mean bus? Half of them are halfway houses.
Right.
Half of them live in a shelter.
Yeah.
Half of them are toothless.
Yes.
They're alcoholics.
Yeah.
Half of those telemarketing.
Yeah.
How's HBO
Yeah.
hasn't developed a show
I pitched one
about
yeah.
12 telemarketers.
I know.
6 people who are fucking serious about
dude.
life, and 6 people who live day to day.
Day to day.
Shoot heroin.
Right.
They got HIV.
Now, the first 2 years I was driving into New York City, and I did a lot of black rooms because black rooms would let you go up. A lot of the alternative rooms, they were, more selective. They were cunty, and you couldn't get into clubs. But black rooms would let you go up. Urban shows. And they liked me. I was a big white guy. I was funny. And they were really fun. My friends loved going to these rooms because these guys were killer. I mean, we'd see Mike Epps, Smokey Suarez. These guys are just murderers. All my, some of my friends would come with me. And then when I went to the city, I started doing the alternative rooms, and, girls would get up and open a moleskin book. My friends stopped coming. They were like, we've had enough of this.
I would never let myself be a fucking tourist.
Right.
Like, never, ever. My wife tried to be when I took her to New York the first time.
Yeah.
And I had to cut the legs off of that shit.
Yeah, what was she trying to do?
Like, just dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like shit that even if you live in New York, you don't go there.
Right.
Like when you grow up in New York, the first year they take you to the Museum of Natural History.
Right.
Till you can't take it no more. You gotta look at that fucking whale. and then they take you to fucking Radio City.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And you go to the fucking Empire State Building.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't ever want to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that was it. Still remember, like, being in the 8th grade and being in Jersey, and they took us to Philly to see, like, the Nutcracker Suite.
Yeah.
The Nutcracker in Betsy Ross's house.
Yeah.
Like, you had to do all that shit.
Yeah.
Great. I'll never forget that we went somewhere and the guy said something. I think it was Betsy Ross's house. He's like, "Do you know what happened here?" And one of my buddies like, "Who gives a shit?" And because those tour people,
yeah,
like,
they're so into it.
They're so into it.
It's so sad.
And you can just throw them off.
There's nothing worse, because when I was doing that job,
I used to sell cigars. Remember when cigars were popping?
Yeah, in the 90s,
I
they
was
were
an
insane.
open micer here.
Yeah.
When I became a regular at the store, the biggest job in L.A. was selling cigars on the phone. Sunset, right across from Rock and Roll Ralph's.
Yeah.
Where the hotel is, walk 50 steps, that building, there were 20 fucking motherfuckers in there. 10 of us were, actors, comics.
Yeah.
You had to be there at 5 in the morning, 5 or 6 in the morning. But the other 10 were fucking people who were toothless.
Yeah,
Who'd be
degenerates.
fucking drinking while they were fucking 5 in the morning.
Who was the better salesman?
Drinking. Listen.
Anybody can have a good day.
Hunger is hunger, bitch.
Hunger is hunger, yeah. I the best salesman in my
Hunger is
office
hunger, bitch.
was a woman in the copier office. There was a woman named Ida. And they go, Ida just sets appointments. They said, sit next to Ida. So you train, you sit next to the top producer when you train. So you sit next to Ida, and this was the top producer at this till, and she looked at me. I'll never forget this, because this just puts in perspective how fucked everybody was. She goes, "I'm doing good this year, and if I do even better, I'm gonna get a car." And I went, "Oh fuck, she's the top. She's Mount Olympus, and she doesn't have a fucking car." I said, "She doesn't have a car?"
This was the best part of my week.
Right.
Was going to Weight Watchers and fucking going off. Like, the lady started accepting it. Like, go off in there. Because going to Weight Watcher meetings seem boring on paper, but they're very funny, because you're going to start getting frustrated, because you're going to see people that are you.
Right.
People that go, "I don't know what happened last week. Every one of my meals, I ate bananas and I still gained 8 pounds." Well, you did something wrong here. If you ate bananas every meal, and I walked my action points and I still gained 8 pounds, and you want to reach over and smack them.
Right.
There's people who go and they'll actually lose 6 ounces.
Yeah.
Like, they'll say, "I lost 6 ounces the last 2 weeks." Oh, my God. There's people who go and they gain weight and they'll go, "I could do the food, but I need my glass of wine every night." And you're like, are you this fucking...
Now I had no clothes. I had like a suit that didn't fit, like an ill-fitting suit. I'm 300 pounds. The suit doesn't fit. My gut's hanging out. I have like the shirt that's half in, half out. I have shoes that are basically moccasins that I'm passing off as dress shoes because I have no fucking money. And these sales guys, they don't understand that. And I'm walking around, walking in hedge funds. I'm walking in the law office. They think I'm homeless. They think the people are like, "Wait, whoa, the secretaries are trying to stop me." I'm like, no, I'm trying to sell you a copier. I sold a few of them, like just because I'm a fun guy. And I'd walk in and they'd be like, "Who's this fucking lunatic?" Somebody came up to me once and go, "Your thing's great. You walk in like a mess. People take notice of you." I go, "It's not my thing. I have no money." They go, "Your thing, what you do is good. You wear ridiculous shoes. Your shirt's got bird shit on it. It's great." They go, "This is like a fucking thing."
They thought it was a thing.
They thought it was a thing. They're like, "Yeah, this is good. You're like a slob."
It's not a diet. See, that's the word.
So it's a lifestyle. See, I did the keto thing for a while. It worked, right? I did keto because
I want you to do something you're able to do on the road every day.
That's hard. It's hard.
And that's where that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do the carnivore diet. Okay. So that means you're going to eat a steak for the rest of your fucking life 3 times a day and a piece of salmon.
Right.
That's what you're telling me.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna do this. It's everybody got something. You know, if you live at home and you're Janet Jackson, that diet's gonna work for you,
right?
Because you have people cutting
chefs.
shit for you and doing that. I'm gonna do that. The no carbs diet. Wait till you get the zanies and it's 1 a.m.
It's true.
What are you gonna eat?
I'm on my third show of the night. I mean,
do you have any almond milk in Chicago at 3 a.m?
Yeah.
Bah!
Yeah.
They're just punching the fucking mouth.
I saw guys like on a tour bus and they were just yelling at tourists on a bus that was going through Times Square. And now he's like, well, that guy can't have a boss. There can't be any background check to do that job. These tour guides in New York, they were lunatics, these people, you know. One woman, I swear to God, would just go on and talk about a knee operation. And the people in there were trying to learn about the Empire State Building. She would say, she would hear it. She'd go, I've had 9 operations on the same foot. But people would tip her at the end. It was like, it's, you know, she was an animal, but people felt bad for her. So they fill the tip cup up at the end. So I was like, oh, these people are also in their own way con artists, degenerates, marginalized figures from society. You know, some of them thought they were historians. Some of them, you know, they were all full of shit. You know, these guys, they barely knew anything. I was just like, I'll go up there and my whole goal was like, I'll make everybody laugh. So I would, you know, pass a building and be like, what the fuck's going on in there? You know, I'm like, you know, I was like, you know.
What were you making doing that?
$15 an hour. $15 an hour, but checks, so that's bad. So 40-hour work weeks, I never left with a check over $350. Okay? But cash tips every day of either no money when I was lazy and didn't want to give the tour, and a Russian woman punched me in the stomach once. Because we were sitting on the thing. It was first of all the Russians are poor. They come in January, February. They have no fucking money. They're poor. They come the coldest time of the year. And you'd have to do a tour for one Russian couple. And the thing with Russians is they have beautiful blue eyes like huskies, but they have no souls. So when you see, because they have 100 years of atheism, so they have no soul. So there's not, you know, so when you look in their face, you see there's nothing there. So I just sat on the bus, and this Russian woman said to me, she goes, you give tour, you fat fuck. I said, listen to the automated tour. I said, I'm not doing it today. You're the only people on the bus. She goes, I pay money, you give tour. You give tour. And I said, no, because I could put it on the automated when I was being lazy. And the automated would be like, and the automated was supposed to be hooked up with a GPS, but it was never where it should be. So we'd be by Central Park, and they'd be like, you are seeing the 9/11 memorial. And everybody would look out, like, where's 9/11? You know, they had no idea because the GPS. These companies don't care because these buses, there's no repeat business.
Right.
You just, you bang them. Bill Burr has a great thing where he talks about the guys who sell tickets to these buses. They're all Africans and Haitians, and they all have deep machete scars in their faces. They make $8 or $9 grand a month, and they send that all back to Africa. I think Burr.
You don't want to weigh in on fucking Friday.
Right.
You know, you're going to go out Thursday night.
You weigh in front of everybody?
No, you weigh in when you walk in.
Right.
You give the chick your card. You sign up for 6 months.
Right.
Beep. You give the chick your card. It's not like 19 fat people watching you. Like, boo!
Yeah.
Boo,
that's what I thought it was.
No.
That's what I thought it was.
Boo.
Where it's like you got on the scale and everybody's just staring at you like you fucking lied to us.
The computer's a scale, and then she'll type it in and she'll go, you had a good week. And then you buy fucking sugar-free brownies or whatever they have. They always have snacks there that I take on the road with me.
They're good, yeah.
That's so at night and then you learn how to prepare. Tim Dillon, you're going to fucking Chicago this week, bitch.
I know.
You're going to eat a beef and sausage sandwich.
I did. It's so bad.
Guess what? But guess what?
Right.
But do me a favor. From Monday through Wednesday.
Behave.
Eat the 6 eggs scrambled. I don't give a fuck. Eat the chicken breast. Get a salad. Listen, these people, well, if you're going to eat a salad, you're putting salad there. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
I'm sacrificing everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's salad with tomato on it.
Nobody's fat.
Let me put my fucking blue cheese dressing on.
Yeah.
I'll take the 5 points for the blue cheese dressing. Because I mean lettuce and tomato and onion. It's not the thing nobody wakes up in the morning and says, you know what? I think I'm going to have 3 fucking salads today because I really want.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get my taste on. I can't wait to see how that lettuce is tasting today.
And then fans of like my podcast and shit got to sit on the bus and see what I used to do, and it was hilarious, you know, because I would talk about like human trafficking and drugs and you know, my roommates and, you know, everybody on Broadway. They go, oh, it must be amazing to be on Broadway. I said, these people are all one broken ankle away from living on the street. Then you see a college, like a high school theater group would come and their faces would go down. I said, they don't make any money. I said, I know the woman in Phantom of the Opera. She drinks soup out of a cup and stares at the rain in the food emporium. I said, every day she wants to put a gun in her mouth. I said, so let me tell you. I said, and if she falls and sprains her ankle, she's going to be living in the street, and she's going to have to go to the suburbs and fuck her way into the middle class, and then she's going to have to work at your school, which I thought was funny. But one of the kids started crying. But I'm like, this is what it is. This is what life is, and that was like my tour, and that wasn't for everybody.
They told me you're going to be picked up on 36th and 3rd every day. You got to meet there. So I figured, let me get a hotel close to that. I don't want to stay in Jersey. You have to come over the ferry.
Right.
You know, and I made a mistake. I stayed at a hotel where all that shit goes down.
Yeah.
The fucking black guy with the axe selling.
Yeah.
Bus
Where did you? Do you remember where you stayed?
I'd rather not say.
Okay. I think I almost.
They gave me a rate. They were nice people, but I had to leave.
Yeah.
Like I had to leave.
Yeah.
That area, and I would work out of Dangerfields. And I remember saying that New York, before you go to New York, you have to take a tourism class.
Yeah.
Like you have to go somewhere, like before you go to New York.
Yeah, you got to do a little.
You got to do something.
Yeah.
Like, and I can't even like. Even Chicago's too big for you.
Right.
Let's start somewhere small and work yourself up.
Yeah.
Because you cannot be a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I saw a lot. Like, I made the mistake and stayed. I was there for 3 weeks. The first hotel was a cool hotel, but a bit too cool for Uncle Joey.
Right. Yeah, I hate those hotels.
A bit too cool.
Hate 'em.
People drinking upstairs.
Right.
No room service. The breakfast was English, you know.
Yeah.
If I want lamb chops for breakfast, I'll let you know. I want 2 fucking eggs. I ate dick in Nashville. I ate dick in Atlanta. I remember waiting all fucking day to do a guest set at Charlotte. Little did I know it was Black Night.
Right.
I walk in there, it's fucking Little Africa. I walk in there to do a guest spot. They look at me like, nah.
Yeah.
I waited all fucking day at the call. You know, this is when you don't have no money.
Right.
This is when you got to sit at this is when you have to sit at Starbucks all day
wait.
and fucking take a sip every hour on the hour. You got to sit there and dehydrate because God forbid you finish that coffee.
Yeah.
You got to milk that coffee for 8 hours.
Yeah.
You got to fucking steal a tuna sandwich from the hotel before you leave and shit. And now you got to wait because you're going to have enough money just to get the cab. The cab's 82 from the fucking, because the airport's never close to the comedy club when you're broke.
It's funny. It's like being a drug addict, being a comedian. It's like very similar. It's the same thing.
Same thing in the
It's the same. You live the same way.
You live to just accommodate that.
Right. Just to subsist. You live. You're going to get more of an idea of what the city is than going on some guided tour.
Why don't you and I just start like a fucking...
Yeah.
People like, this is where John Lennon got shot in the head.
Yeah.
If you say another word, I'll shoot you in the fucking head.
I think...
like that's what, you know... This is where fucking Theo Von made that drug deal with the cab driver.
And the cab driver,
raped the chick in the back
This
seat.
is the real New York.
Theo is snorting coke with Al Strawberry and shit.
This is the real New York.
This is the real New York.
I used to, you know...
That's what I want to take. This is what fucking my friend Louis shot heroin in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And fucking he puked and we left him here fucking for dead. Like it's...
But that's what I want to hear. If I go to a city, that's what I want to hear. You know, and I would tell, you know what I would do too, because the apartments in New York City are so expensive. I'd try to make everybody on the bus feel kind of bad. I just point at the buildings and I go 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, 35, 40 million. And everybody would just get beaten down. You know, by the end of the day, they realized that they were fucked. They were like, God, the system's rigged. We're all shot, you know? And then every now and then, one of these fat broads would try to like even the scales. You go, but they don't even have central air in those buildings. They have wall unit air conditioners. And I go, but they do have central air in their Hamptons estates. They take helicopters and land in them because they don't want to be in traffic. Many of them are 20, 30,000 square feet. And she would go, ha. And it was basically me going like, I know you're trying to get one up on me, but not today, pig. Not today. And I would just make them feel, I want their spirits broken by the time they left the bus. I wanted them to realize that they had failed and there was nothing that they could do.
They fucked up.
They fucked up.
They should have gone to
They're
fucking
shot.
Disneyland.